What is going on, everybody? So, back again today talking about more 40k shit, more Warhammer 40,000 stuff. And as you can tell by the title of this video, we're going to be going over some Warhammer 40,000 collectibles, toy lines that you can collect. Now, I understand that Warhammer 40,000 was first and foremost created as a tabletop war game. And part of that game is you buy these models. They're little miniature models of the different armies in Warhammer 40,000. You've got your Space Marines, you've got your Necrons, your Tau, your Orcs, your Chaos Marines, Demons, yada yada. The list goes on and on. Eldar, whatever. And that is the primary kind of collectible merchandise thing that people go to when they think of Warhammer 40,000. But this is a fandom, a pop culture thing, Warhammer 40,000, that has the potential to appeal to a lot of people, more than just people who would be willing to build the models and paint the models and play the game. Particularly, I'm one of those people. I've never been into the tabletop game. I've never felt that I have I've never felt that I was willing to put in the amount of money and time it takes to have a nice army of miniatures, well painted, and get really into playing the game. But that's not stopped me from liking the story and the lore. And when I first got really into Warhammer 40,000 back in, it would have been 2011 at this point, there was nothing. There were no toy lines. There were no collectibles. It was just if you didn't do the mini models for the game, then you had nothing. But it's 2023 now, and we have a few other options. So if buying the models, putting them together, and painting them is not your thing, if you don't really feel like you are willing or maybe even able to invest the time and money into that, and it is expensive. And I'm going to be doing another video here in the near future about basically discussing the question: is the Warhammer 40,000 tabletop game an affordable hobby? So be on the lookout for that video. But for people who've already kind of taken a look at it and they've made up their mind that, like, no, this is not an affordable hobby, this is not something I should invest myself in, but I still love Warhammer 40,000, there are some things out there that you can buy and collect and own. And if you follow my channel, which not a whole lot of people do, but for those of you that do, I appreciate it. And if you those of you that do, you know that I am a toy collector. I collect Marvel Legends, I collect DC Multiverse, I collect Masters of the Universe, uh, various few other lines of collectibles and toys. But recently, I have settled on a Warhammer 40,000 toy line that I'm going to be collecting, and we will get to that. But first, we're going to go through each one that's available to you guys out there now. So to start things off, McFarlane Toys, back at, I want to say, the beginning of 2020, they got the license to make Warhammer 40,000 toys, and they started putting a few out. Now, they don't have a lot. Let's go all the way back to 2020. I think in 2020 they released a total of 4 figures. There was a Primaris Ultramarine Sergeant and a Necron Warrior, and then they released their what they call their artist proof copies of the figures, which is basically they're unpainted. So people who are into the painting hobby or would like to try it out, you can do it on a full-size 7-inch scale action figure instead of the little tabletop models. Moving into 2021, they released quite a few others. They started to branch out a little more with their Space Marine chapters. They've got a Raven Guard in here. They've got 2 Orcs. What else did they manage to put out? A Gene Stealer, a Primaris Reaver, a Sister of Battle, Order of the Bloody Rose, Sister of Battle, a Flayed One Necron, a Blood Angels Lieutenant, which is what they called him, but I don't think that's the proper lieutenant helmet for a Primaris Marine, a Blood Angels Hellblaster, and a normal Sister of Battle. I think that was about it for 2021. And then in 2022, the line heavily focused on the Warhammer 40,000 Darktide video game that was going to be coming out. We did get a horribly painted, very shitty looking Chaos Marine of the Word Bearers chapter, or Word Bearers Warband, and then the rest of the figures seem to be from the game. We got the Ogren from the game. We've got a Chaos Cultist We got a veteran guardsman, another chaos cultist, a few other artist proofs. We got a Space Marine, a Word Bearer's Space Marine artist proof, a normal Astartes, Primaris Astartes artist proof. We did get a Dark Angel and a Black Legion Chaos Space Marine. It looks like a Black Legion. And that was about it. That's all we've gotten in this line so far. The line isn't terrible, and the figures are of decent quality. I myself own the original. If you look at my channel, you'll find the video of them. I own the original Primaris Ultramarine Sergeant, as well as the Blood Angels Hellblaster, which is this guy right here. These are halfway decent figures. They have pretty decent articulation. I don't really like the scale that was chosen for these. 7-inch is a little big, especially when you're looking at like stuff like Space Marines and Orcs. They get kind of large and they're going to take up a lot of shelf space. And then a couple other things that I don't particularly like about this line. The scale of the Space Marine Astartes characters versus the normal human characters like the Guardsmen or the Sisters of Battle is off. The Space Marines should be, Space Marines in their power armor are anywhere from like 8 to 9 feet tall, and a normal human being is like an average around 5 to 6 feet tall. And that difference in size is not it's not shown properly in this toy line. The humans are not they're almost as tall as the Space Marines. The Space Marines are not that much taller, so that's a problem. And then another thing I really don't like about this line is it focuses way too much on units, like unit figures, and not characters. Like we've gotten Primaris Marines, we've gotten a Sergeant, we've gotten a Hellblaster, we've got a Lieutenant. We've got a Sister of Battle. They're all just basic units. They're not characters. I would prefer to have specific characters from the lore because that's my main thing that I love about 40K. I love the lore. I love the backstory to the whole thing. So I would like to have characters. Like I would like to have a Marnius Calgar. I would like to have a Ragnar Blackmane. I would like to have a Garen Crow. I would like to have what other characters? I would like to have a Caiaphas Cain or a Uriel Ventress at some point. Those would be cool characters to have. I would like to get some of the Primarchs, but it doesn't seem like McFarlane is too terribly interested in developing this line to that point where we would actually get figures like that. So I have not bought any more of the figures in this line, and I really don't intend to because I found something much superior, a much superior line, and we will get to that shortly. So the next one I want to bring up is going to take even less time to talk about, and that is Bandai's line of Warhammer 40,000 figures. So far, all they've made is a few different Space Marines. They've made some Imperial Fists, a Salamander, Intercessor. I believe they did make a basic Ultramarines Intercessor. They've made a White Scars Intercessor. So basically, it's all the same figure. They've just been repainted with a different chapter paint scheme. And then they did make a Primaris Captain in Gravis armor. These, once again, not bad figures, pretty decent articulation, nice detail, nice accessories. These are also on that 7-inch scale. They are a tiny, tiny bit shorter than the McFarlane figures. So yeah, they're not going to take up little space. They're going to take up much more shelf space. And judging by just what I've seen of Bandai releasing, they're not too dedicated to this line either. We're not going to get a large variety of figures, and I don't think we're ever going to get actual characters from the Warhammer 40,000 story in this line. So I also have turned down this one. I've never bought it, and as you can also see, the price is expensive. The Ultramarines Primaris Captain and Gravis armor is 240 USD. So it's just not worth the money, especially when we've got this stuff. So this is the one that I have decided to collect, and I think it's the best Warhammer 40K collectible toy line out there. It is by a company called JoyToy, and they have got pretty much everything. They've got Death Corps of Krieg, they've got Terminator Custodes, Sisters of Battle, Imperial Fists, Tau. They've got character figures. Here's Garen Crow, the Warden of the Blade from the Grey Knights. Ultramarines, stupid ads. Ultramarines, Heroes of the Chapter sets, Black Templars. What else do we have here? They've also done vehicles. We've got Thunder Bikes. We've got Dreadnoughts. We've got Tau Fire Warriors, Space Wolves, Blade Guard veterans from multiple chapters. This is when I saw this guy right here. This one I knew that I was going to be collecting this toy line. They've got a Ragnar Blackmane figure. It is the Primaris version of Ragnar Blackmane. It is not the Firstborn version. So keep that in mind. I don't know how a lot of you feel. I know how a lot of people feel about Primaris Marines. I like them. I think they're cool. I think the updates to the armor and the design were nice, and I think they look better than the original design of Space Marines. But that's just me. Uh, Tau battle suits, Blood Angels, more Space Wolves. They've got a Marnius Calgar, um, Ultramarines Intercessors. Like I said, they do have dreadnoughts. They also have character dreadnoughts. Like they have a Bjorn the Fell-Handed. They have, I want to say they have 4 different Grey Knights in addition to the Garen Crow figure. They've got Kosaro Khan from the White Scars, Black Legion Marines. They also have a Ultramarines Primaris Captain in Gravis armor. Uh, One of the things I've noticed that JoyToy does with this line and some of their characters is they give them names, but then I've looked them up trying to like find out if they're actual characters in Warhammer 40,000 lore and story, and I don't find anything. I don't find anything on Warhammer 40k Wikia, and I don't find anything on them on the Lexicanum, which tells me that this company JoyToy is just making figures and assigning them a name, and they're not really characters. Now, for sure, Kosaro Khan and Bjorn the Fell-Handed and Ragnar Blackmane, Marnius Calgard, those are real characters. But they are also making some shit up, which isn't terrible, but it's like, rather than you make up a fake character, I would have rather you just make an actual character from the 40k lore. We've got Space Wolves, we've got a little Hunter Pack, a Primaris Captain, Necron, I'm going to butcher this name, Zarakhan, the Overlord, High Marshal Helbricht. They have them called Baldic Wrath. That's wrong. That's definitely Helbricht. What else do we have here? We've got a Ultramarines Primaris Librarian, Black Legion Terminators, other White Scars, other Blood Angels. There is just a huge variety of not just figures but characters. There are more Space Marine chapters. There are more different factions. So far, I believe they've done Space Marines, they've done Imperial Guard, they've done Orcs, Necrons. What else? Tau. They have not done Eldar yet. We've got some Orcs here. The Orcs do look a little bit goofy. If we take a look here at the Orcs and some of the pictures, like they're wearing freaking t-shirts. Like the orcs are meant to be very scrappy and barbaric looking, so I don't know why they have them in t-shirts. This one's wearing a like Home Alone thief sock hat. Some of they just look a little stupid and jokey to me. This one doesn't look half bad. This guy's not too bad either. And then the Flamer one is halfway decent, but some of them just look goofy. We've got some Necrons. We've got Dynasty Deathmarks. We've got Immortals with Gauze Blaster. More Grey Knights. This is another one of those Primaris Captain Sidonicus. I'm not sure if he's a real character or if they're just making shit up. Imperial Fist Intercessors. Ultramarines Dreadnoughts. White Scars on their Thunder Bikes. If you're going to collect White Scar toys, like figures of White Scars, you got to get some Thunder Bikes for the White Scars. Ultramarines Primaris Aggressors. You can see Captain Petolius, not sure if that's a real character. Veteran Sergeant Icastus, Space Wolf Blade Guard veterans, Ultramarine Reavers, Thunder Wolf Cavalry. So you get a Space Wolf and his like wolf steed that he rides. That's pretty sick. Just so much. They're giving us so much. Invictor Warsuit that you can actually put a little Primaris Reaver or Primaris Infiltrator in there, and he can like pilot the Warsuit. Lieutenants, just everything. They've thought of pretty much everything, and the amount of effort and variety that they've put into this line has me thinking that they intend to make something of this. This isn't just going to be like McFarlane or Bandai where they're going to make a few figures and try to make a few bucks off of it, but really they're not going to give that much of a shit about the line. It looks like JoyToy is putting a lot of time and effort into this, and it doesn't look like they're going to be stopping anytime soon. So if you want to collect a Warhammer 40k toy line, this is probably the way to go. Now, are they as expensive as the Bandai figures? No. Are they more expensive than the McFarlane figures? Absolutely. Like here, we saw the McFarlane had a Chaos Marine, and as we know, McFarlane toys at retail are probably around like $20 to $25. This guy is gonna run you probably close to 50. So yeah, but I will say this, you are getting what you pay for. So these are 1/18th scale, which means that the Space Marine figures, they are probably, I want to say they're about 5 inches, 4 to 5 inches tall. So they're not going to take up too much shelf space. They're a little more, they're smaller, a little more manageable. And then stuff like the Death Corps of Krieg Imperial Guard figures that I showed you, those guys are more like, your 3 3/4 inch figures. They're very reminiscent of like the original like Star Wars figures, the size that those used to be before they started the 6-inch Black Series. We've got other vehicles, Invader ATV for Ultramarines, more Chaos Lords, Infiltrators, Adeptus Sororita Warsuit, Paragon Warsuit, Captain Torgardon of the Imperial Fists, more Dreadnoughts. This line is just nice. And I'm not just speaking from a point of view of looking at this stuff online and watching YouTube videos. I own, let's see, 10 of these JoyToy figures. I have I have 2 different Primaris Ultramarine Lieutenants. I have this guy right here. I have a Ultramarines Sergeant, which I don't see on here. I have one of the Ultramarines Blade Guard veterans, which we saw up here not too far. I have one of these guys. And I also have 3 of the Death Corps of Krieg Imperial Guard troops. I have Ragnar Blackmane, and I own, where did he go? I own this guy and one other Chaos, Black Legion Chaos Marine. They are all, I can guarantee you, I can speak from firsthand owning these guys. The articulation is there. You can get these guys into a variety of different poses. They come with great accessories, interchangeable hands. Let's see, let's go to, who do I want to pick on? Not pick on, but who do I want to choose to be my dummy? Let's go with this guy. So as you can see here from this picture, they come with a lot of accessories. He comes with his pistol, his bolter pistol. He comes with I don't understand what this is, because this is meant to be like, if you don't want to have him holding his pistol, you could put that holster on the figure and it will be like his pistol is holstered. But as you can see, that bolt pistol it's not the same size. They come with interchangeable hands, lots of different accessories, a helmeted head. Most of the character figures will come with, whether they are an actual character or a made-up one, they'll come with a character head, and then they'll also come with the normal helmeted head. So a lot of different display options there. The paint quality on these guys, for the most part, of all the ones that I bought, are top-notch, and just the overall quality control is great. So if you want to collect some kind of Warhammer 40k product toy line thing, and you other than the minis, you don't really want to put the time into building yourself a little collection of tabletop minis, this might be the way to go. It is a little pricey, I will admit that. Like this guy is $80. You can buy the set here, so you will get 3 Primaris Ultramarine Reavers for 150. So, they are a little pricey, but I will say this, it is a great line. I do feel like it's been money well spent, and I do see myself collecting this line way into the future. I have several of these guys on pre-order right now because they're actually not out yet. And yeah, I will be collecting this toy line now for a very long time. So yeah, just wanted to share that bit of information with you in case there's other people like me out there who've never been they've just never been keen on the tabletop hobby. I am going to do another video here in the near future talking about the tabletop hobby, talking about why I've never gotten into it, talking about why I'm considering giving it a shot. Not necessarily the playing the game aspect of it, but I'm highly considering buying just one mini model, some paints and whatnot, trying to paint one, see how I do. If it turns out like shit, I'm gonna go back to the whole like I don't do the game, I don't do the minis, I don't do the model. It's not my thing. But I'm thinking about trying it, and also in that video coming up, I'm going to be talking about the tabletop hobby in general and whether or not it is an affordable hobby. So stay tuned for that. I hope this video helped. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope some of you are thinking like maybe you guys were this is exactly what you were looking for, and now that you found that JoyToy toy line or maybe the McFarlane one, who knows, and you're like, sweet, I'm gonna go collect that stuff. I hope I helped you guys out. If you like this video, please hit that like button. It really helps out my channel. If you want to help out my channel even more, check out some of my other videos and subscribe. Other than that, I will talk to you all later.